Welcome to a Bedrock Guide Season 3 pre-episode 1 video where today we are going to go over planning your world. And you may be about to hit that create world button, but you might not know what it is you have planned on doing. You're going in blind. Well, that may work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. So today let's talk about planning out what you're going to do in your world before you actually make it. Go ahead, hit that back button, exit out of Minecraft, because we are not going to be touching it right now. And I just lied to you. You may want to open up Minecraft, but for planning purposes, not to actually start your world. You may want to go ahead, click that creative button, put it on peaceful, start up a super flat world, and go ahead and load things up. I recommend, if you're going to be doing this, throw on cheats, put on always daytime, and also turn the weather cycle off. That way you can get yourself a nice flat world where the sun's up all the time, and you can sit in here and you can do some planning. Now in the past, sometimes I would go through here into the creative menu and pick out some blocks that I think I might want to use in a build and start to get some type of a build or color palette down for a number of different builds that I may want to do in a world. And sometimes that might look something like this, where I would just put together numerous fronts of buildings like this and just try to get a feel for, do I like the colors? Do they go together good? Maybe get a few different options in. And this method may be for a lot of you, but honestly, this method's not for me. I'm getting rid of these blocks. I don't want them. And that's because over time that I have personally found that sometimes having to stick to a particular build palette is not something that has made playing the game easy for me. Sometimes it makes playing in the world harder and a lot less enjoyable. So templates, they're gone. Not doing it today. I know that this time for me, rather than doing like I did in Bedrock Guide Season 1 and Season 2, where we would plan things out very specifically, we would have a theme that we had to stick to, kind of make everything look more or less similar and the same. We're going to open things up this time. So my plan for Bedrock Guide Season 3 is there's not really going to be a plan. We're going to have things open. We're going to do things how we want to do them, when we want to do them, and whatever way we want to do them. So no more plans for me, but you may like to do a plan for a world, something like this, where you do have those block palettes and types and style that you stick with. But me, it's not happening this time. That being said though, it is a good idea to have goals, have things that you know that you want to complete within your world, because it gives you something to strive towards. Have big goals that are like end of world type stuff, and then have a bunch of small goals. That way you have ways and things that you can do to make it feel like you're making progress as you go. In this Bedrock Guide Season 1 world, we had a lot of small goals. Each building was kind of its own goal. We had a big overarching goal, which was to make a big like city, town like area. And minus a few structures that I didn't get to, we completed that for the most part, and it felt really good. Bedrock Guide Season 1 went really good. In this season though, I have other goals in mind, because in Minecraft, one thing that's important for you to do is do things that you like to do. So make sure whatever goals you have in mind, you're not mimicking what you've seen others do. You're not trying to copy your friends. You're not trying to copy your favorite creator. You can get inspiration from them. That's all well and good. But at the end of the day, make sure you're doing things that you like to do. I like making farms, and we had quite a lot of them throughout our time in Bedrock Guide Season 1 and Season 2. And we're going to be continuing that in Season 3. It's going to be like farms times 10, right? Like I love building farms and I like decorating farms. So for me, my goals are simply to just make a whole lot of farms, make them all look good, and have a good time while doing it. Being creative in how we make the farms. Maybe everything's not going to be such a cookie cutter process where we take a standard farm and the best possible way and most efficient way it is to make it. And instead, maybe we get creative with some of them. Maybe we have them fit a certain size or shape or in a certain area. But farms is definitely going to be the theme and the goal of Bedrock Guide Season 3. Of course, on top of guiding you guys on how to better play Bedrock Edition in Minecraft in general and teaching you all the cool, fun, amazing things. That's obviously one of my biggest goals, because that's what the guide is all about. It's about you. Now, once you have an idea of what it is you want to do and you kind of know what your goals are, you may want to decide to try to find a seed to play on. Now, a lot of you, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to go in, you're going to hit the create new button, you're going to hit create new world, and you're going to look at this seed field and you're not going to put anything in it. You're going to leave it blank and you're just going to go in blind. That's perfectly fine. I've done that a ton of times myself, and I really like going into a seed that way. Sometimes though, I kind of have a feeling that I want to make sure I pick certain things with my world, right? I want to have certain things within my spawn area or wherever it is I'm going to be playing at. And I want to make sure that the world seed and the area I'm going to use fits what my goals are. So you could always just hop into the create a world screen, hit the create button, and let the world generate and take a look at it. The problem is though, this can take some time. You have to go through the create world process each time you want to take a look at a new world. And if you were looking for a taiga biome or a giant ocean when you first load up the world, and you get in here and you see that you're in a plainsy jungle looking area, which is actually kind of cool. This isn't a bad area for me personally. Then you have to go ahead and you have to save and quit. You have to delete that world and you have to start the whole process over again. There is a way to make this process quicker and easier though. So here we are, chunkbase.com, and we're gonna go over to apps, and then you could do any one of these, but usually the best one to do if you're looking for a seed, to search a seed, is just click biome. And then we're not gonna enter in a seed number into the world. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we have Bedrock Edition checked if you're playing on Bedrock Edition, which we have right there. And we are going to hit random. That'll give us a random seed number. And what we can do is we can just kind of sit here and either just randomly go through the seeds. You can hover over and you see on the bottom right, it'll tell you what the biome that you're hovering over is. Or if you have like a certain biome you want, you can check this box down here that says highlighted biomes and click some of the biomes you want. So I could type in plains. There's a few different kind of plains, right? There's plains and there's sunflower plains. I could click both of those and then I could just hit random several times until I get a decent sized plains biome. Maybe I want it to be like right in the center of the screen, right? So I'll put 0, 0, like go. So that'll give me a point right there, 0, 0. And I can just keep going until I get something that I want. Like maybe this right here. This is right on the edge of what looks to be a pretty big plains biome. So we could take this seed number, we could go to the advanced section of the world create screen. We can paste it into here and then we can hit create and we'll get to actually see if that plains biome fits what we're looking for. And as we fly up in the air here, we see it's got a lot of hills. You got some villages over there, or a pretty big village, which looks kind of cool. Or maybe you're looking for something else. Maybe instead of plains, maybe you want a mountain base. So you go in here, you can type in mountain, or maybe we don't want snow, maybe we want stony peaks instead, right? So I could put both of those in there. Maybe I don't care between the two. And again, we could go in, we get random several times until we get pretty decent sized mountain range, or in this case, a number of mountains around us. So you look at this for just the peaks, that's a pretty big area. Maybe we want something a little bit closer. So we just keep hitting random. And here we have like a few ranges right around us. So maybe we want to check this one out, right? Let's do the same thing. Let's copy our seed number, paste it in, and take a look around. We got a couple of like snowy areas there, but I see some mountains in the distance. Again, usually your peaks are going to be the ones that go kind of high. So we got some peaks over here. Look really cool. So it's a really good way if you want to find a specific thing. You could do that with the help of chunkbase to find your perfect like bowl of mountain area. What? One other thing when it comes to planning out your world is what type of add-ons do you want to use? Now, if you're on PC or you're on mobile, you can download free add-ons to enhance your world and things about it. Now, this series, it's going to stay mostly vanilla. We might download a couple little things that are just going to help me as a creator. But one thing I like to do is go to bedrocktweaks.net, which is very similar to vanilla tweaks for Java Edition. If you're familiar with like Hermitcraft and other SMP series, we'll run a lot of things from vanilla tweaks. And we're just going to go through, we're going to start on resource packs, and we're going to click any of the things here that we want to have. Now, in my harder core series, I have a lot of decorative things like different stems and like all sorts of different stuff. We're not going to do those because I do want to keep things very vanilla feeling. That way you guys can kind of see things the way that you'll see them regardless of what device that you're playing on. But there's a couple of pieces on here that I want to make sure I add for myself, such as quieter rain, quieter nether portals, sticky piston sides, directional hoppers, unobtrusive rain, unobtrusive snow, unobtrusive particles, no vignette. And on the right hand side, we'll go over to pack name here and we're going to type in BGS3. This is just the name of your pack. All the ones I'm going with, they're just ones that are going to make the recording process a little bit better and just kind of be like some quality of life things for me as a creator. Things like being able to show the hopper direction will be good when I'm showing you guys how to run hoppers, as opposed to you guys having to look at the little like stem that comes out from under it. So we're going to download that. Also, other than resource packs, you can click on add-ons, and there's going to be a few different add-ons here that you may or may not want to consider. One that I always like to get is anti-Enderman grief. I already have that one downloaded, but it just keeps Enderman from picking up blocks and moving them around. I find it super annoying. It doesn't serve a purpose in the game other than to annoy you. So that's one I usually recommend and I'm going to use on this world. Finally, there is crafting tweaks. I'm not going to use any of these, but if you're looking for some simple like common sense tweaks to crafting, things like stairs costing less blocks to make and things of that nature, you could definitely use those in this section as well. Bedrock Tweaks isn't the only place to get add-ons, but is one of the more reliable places. I'm also going to be using an add-on that's a day counter that will count the number of days that I picked up via MCPE DL. I'll make sure that I link all of these in the description down below as well. Now, once doing that, you should have your seed if that's the way you're selecting it. And from here, it's kind of up to you what you want to do, right? A lot of you might just jump into the world now. You kind of have a general idea of what it has to it, and you may just go ahead and start it in survival right now. Some of you may want to do additional planning. Maybe you get your seed and you go take a look at a specific area and you start to think, okay, I'm going to put a big ship here, and then I'm going to put like a dock thing over here, and I'm going to build a big tower coming off of this. Like maybe you're going to go in and further plan out your world in creative mode in the seed prior to actually starting it in survival. Or, like I said, maybe just start it in survival right now and you let the seed take you wherever it decides to take you. Really, at this stage, you can decide to plan as much or as little as you want to, and the planning never has to stop if you don't want it to. You could play in the seed some and then make a creative copy of the world and do some more planning, and then complete that project in survival, and then make another creative copy of the world. Like, there's so many things and ways you can do planning. It never has to end. Me, though, I'm not much the planning type. So my planning's done. I have my seed. We're standing in a creative copy of it right now, and we're going to be starting it here pretty soon. But first, we have to actually go over how to start a world, which is going to be coming in the next and final pre-season opener episode. So if you've been here this long, I appreciate you. Thank you a lot. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below. All the stuff and things that helps with the YouTube analytics, and it shows me that you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure you do those things, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.